Welcome back to the iRacing Stock Car Association. Tonight we're going to be at Dover with the Papa John's 200. This is 200 laps. We're going to have one try at the end for a green-white checkered that I guarantee we will have. 5 tire changes. That includes 4 plus the ones that they start with. And they have the opportunity to take a fuel window for about 85 laps. I'm going to doubt we're going to see anybody try to push it to 85 laps and try to make this a 3-stop race. But, Caden Rush would be one that has done it in the past. He may do it again. Welcome, Bo. Booyah. Welcome, Bo, to the booth. My name is Al Kozlowski, and we are here broadcasting tonight, missing our good buddy Jacob. Bo, how are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm good. I'm excited to see what this Monster Mile produces for us today. What about yourself, Al?
I'm kind of excited myself. I think what it's going to produce tonight is a lot of wrecking. I had made my predicaments for tonight. I think we're going to see about 5 cautions, and I'm seeing Caden Rush. I've got to kind of have him as my favorite to win this week. We have a long shot in the race tonight that's proven to be a contender that hasn't raced with us before, but he during practice had laid down some laps here, and that's James Mullins in that number 6 car. He's going to give Caden Rush a run for his money. Brian Johnson in that 4 car is also extremely fast, as well as Michael Eames, and they both, Caden Rush, Brian Johnson, and Michael Eames, all are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd on the qualifying right now.
And funny, talking about hoping, or not hoping necessarily, but predicting Caden Rush will win. That's going to put him at his 5th win on the season if he wins tonight.
Yeah, and he's pretty good. I watched him during practice, and it looked like he was pretty solid, put it that way. I mean, he wasn't wrecking a lot, and watched some of the other drivers, and they met the wall a lot by accident. But Caden has kept it in between the lines and off the wall, so I think he's probably got a good setup here. But Brian Johnson also was the same. So I think Caden Rush is gonna have some competition tonight that he was lacking before.
If y'all please stand for our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages.
Oh, say, can't you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Oh, wow, what a beautiful national anthem we have there.
Absolutely, that's for our Papa John's 200, and we're racing at Dover tonight. We're getting ready to go green here in about 2 laps. We're going to have a couple minutes here where the drivers, warm those engines up and wait to get off. They're making some final preparations in their seat right now, getting the steering wheel where they need it to be, and those 5-point harnesses buckled down. So we'll see them get on the track, led by, I believe, is that a Toyota Tundra pace car?
Yes, sir. I believe so.
We've got a heavy field, and this isn't that big of a track. So let's see how they're going to pull this off. See if we can get through lap 1 without having to call that yellow flag out.
I know we're going to be bringing out 22 drivers, it looks like, today.
Yeah, and we look like we have Caden Rush in the 15 on the pole, and outside of him is going to be the 4 of Brian Johnson. In the second row, we have the 3 of Michael Eames, and we have outside of him is Andrew Melvin in the 17. Behind them in row 3 would be Stephen West in the 74, and outside of him is Michael Knight in the 68. Row 1, 2, 4, 5, we got Gregory Hectus in the 87 and Chris Johnson in the 2. Behind that is Manatzi Majors in the 82 and the 5 of David Gervais, and that rounds out your top 10 drivers.
Right behind him, we got the 90 of Ron Hollyfield in 11th, 25 of Austin Bulkey in 12th, 24 of Kenny Powell there in 13th, 14th we got the 83 of Craig Johnson. Behind him we got the 17 of James Calaballi, and we're going green.
Absolutely, Caden Rush is not getting that big of a jump. Ryan Johnson has got a heck of a good jump on him on the outside here, but Caden takes the inside line and pulls away and gets that spot. And they're leaving 3rd and 4th way back there. Ryan Johnson and Caden Rush are in a hurry.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're going to battle it out.
Clean. Yeah, they're just going to wait it out. Everybody's being cautious. They know those tires are a little slick right now. Oh, 2nd or 3rd and 4th is catching. We got Stephen West. He's catching Brian Johnson there. He wants that position.
Looks like Brian Johnson's a little loose in the back end. He's managed to hold on to it, but we'll see how that affects him throughout this race. Definitely probably just some pre-race jitters as those tires are not yet quite warmed up, as we're going to get there soon, though.
Yeah, the top 6 are kind of nose to tail coming out of turn. It's like turn 2 here, and they go down that back stretch right across. No, that's 3 and 4. Now we're going into 1 and 2. Nose to tail. Everybody's kind of nose to tail, mind their own business. They're not making any decisions to pass. It does look like we have an inside line there, and it looks like Stephen West takes 2nd. He's going for the lead. Stephen West has got a fast hot rod tonight.
And Stephen West, I'm trying to think of what track that was last. It was one of these short tracks, and he had a great car. Oh, somebody's down in the wall at the bottom.
Oh, it almost took out somebody there.
68 of Mike Knight down there. He's going to be into the wall coming off of turn 2.
We're going to have some diaper changes because right in front of, and that's happened right in front of James Calaballi, I believe. It is very cloudy out here tonight, Bo.
Yeah, it looks like the, maybe not the sun's going down, but maybe we're getting a little shade over there on the front stretch for sure.
We went from sunny to not. It does look like Caden Rush has got his normal internet connection issue. He keeps blinking out, and he's taking Stephen West with him. Steve is not quite sure where Caden is. He wants to pass him, but he keeps disappearing.
It looks like he's looking on the outside, but I don't think he wants to bite yet. I think he's just waiting. Just maybe
a smart move. You got to pick and choose. This track's not big enough. You're not going to see many 2 or 3 wides going on here. They'll always stay in line here because that's the corners are really, really tight here. The grip is in the middle. You want to try to stay in the middle. We're watching a lot of drivers staying low.
And I'm curious if maybe Stephen West is just trying to show him, hey, I'm right here. Make sure he sees him in that rearview mirror. Make a little stake a little bit.
That's what I'm thinking he's guessing for right now, because Stephen West, he's a methodical driver. He's going to watch and pick and choose where he wants to pass him. And he is right on the rear bumper of Caden Rush. So Caden knows he's there.
Peekaboo!
Yeah, we watched Caden in the past. He's not one of those drivers that's easily intimidated. He will sit there and let you burn your stuff up, which Stephen has done in the past as well. He's used his material up.
We saw that the Michigan race.
That's not very good for you. So that might be what Caden's idea of fun is here. He's going to let him think he's going to get an opportunity. Man, he dove it in there pretty good. We got Manazzi Major in that 87. It's kind of peeking in there in 5th position, trying to get 4th. He keeps coming in on the scene here, right on the bumper. Oh, Michael Gaines' eye. Stephen West goes sideways. He loses it. And there's your caution.
Somebody else is back there in the wall. I think it's going to be the 90.
I told you Stephen West used his material up, and he went for a tailspin on that back end there, and that caused a whole lot of ruckus for him there. He tried it, and he got really squirrely, and he tried to save it, and it collected. Oh, he got missed. Oh, right behind him. You could see, let's see who was that we tied in with this here. Stephen West goes sideways. And 2 drivers, they did a synchronized side spin to avoid Stephen West. See who those drivers were.
I believe it's going to be the 5 of David Gervais, and I think it was the 90 of Ron Holyfield. I might be wrong with it, though.
37 makes it by just clean. Andrew Melvin makes it by just avoiding him. They all jump to the low side. The 2, he kind of avoids him. Chris Johnson goes high, but the 5 and the 90, David Gervais and the 90 of Ron Holyfield, they do some synchronized crashing here. I mean, they're like their back ends are stuck together, and the whole car, passenger side, driver's side, they go slide sideways right through that turn as the 6 sneaks by. And oh, Manazzi Majors, I don't know if there was contact there with the 82 with Stephen West, but that was really close.
Going back to the truck, I think they removed the emblem off of it, but it definitely looks like that could be a Chevy.
Is it a Chevy?
Yeah, it looks like a Chevy.
And we've got some takers on pit road. So that involved at least 2 drivers that I can see. David Gervais and the 90, or David Gervais, excuse me, and the 5 and the 90 of
Ron Holyfield.
Ron Holyfield. They were involved in that. I don't think they got a lot of front end damage. At the worst case scenario, they burnt the tires off those cars and they got some side damage here. That shouldn't affect them too bad.
Don't forget to include the 74 Stephen West there.
Yeah, but I don't think Stephen had any contact with anybody. I think he's still going to be competitive.
I know he got into the wall though. Any marks on the side of his car right now?
No, I don't think he had got much of that at all. I think he came out of that pretty clean. Everybody did their best to avoid him.
How many pace laps do we have around this track for under caution?
There's 2. I believe we have 2 coming through, unless we're not lined up correctly, and then we'll run one more to get everybody lined up.
68 and Mike Knight trying to catch up down there, coming out of pit road.
Let's look to the back of this field. We got James Mullins kind of sneaking back here in the back. He was pretty fast during practice here, and he even laid down pretty good, but he didn't qualify. Yeah, he's got something up his sleeve sitting back here, as he ran the fastest lap. So I don't know what James got up his sleeve, but he's hiding back in the back here.
And right now he's sitting behind. Does it look? He's got a little back end damage right there. Look at the back
we
end
do
of
have
his
a little
legs
bit,
there.
don't we?
Not a lot, but just a little bit on that back end right there. Maybe he got clipped or something on that caution.
Yeah, I think he might have gotten the wall trying to avoid that last wreck here. He might have just hit the brakes a little bit too much, had too much ballast in that sucker, and caught the back end loose.
Oh, here we go. Caden Rush is off to a good start there.
Yeah, Caden Rush leads before Brian Johnson in the win. We got Michael Eames in the 3 car right behind Brian Johnson, and they're going to kind of settle down here. They've seen what happened back there. Of course, Brian Johnson had a windshield full of that incident with Stephen West, so he kind of knows what not to do now. He's not going to use up his material trying to get that pass, because Caden Rush will make you abuse your material.
I don't know how he has such a good car where everyone else abuses material, and he somehow finds a way to hold on to it longer than anybody else on this racetrack.
Well, he's probably put a good chunk of hours in this, in the practice and everything. And not saying the other drivers haven't, but sometimes you have to blend practice and the race together. I, for one, may be really good at practice, but when you get in the race trying to avoid everybody else, it makes it a whole different story. So Caden Rush might have that ability to blend it both together and just race his race and not worry about everything. Whatever happens, happens.
I definitely think qualifying up here at the front of the pack helps every week. I mean, if you're up here in clean air, you won't have to race around other drivers, and that probably helps a lot.
Brian Johnson is putting the heat on him here. He is not even a tenth of a second behind him. He may not be learning. I mean, that air might get lifted off that front end there, just like it did Stephen West, and make that car get unstable, and around you go. But
Oh, he's going to be
Brian
right on
Johnson
this
is
bumper.
well, he is pushing him. He wants that position. There, you couldn't have put a napkin between the two of those bumpers.
It sounds like we got one in the wall somewhere. We're still green.
I haven't seen a wreck. I had nothing popped up on my side. I'm just watching the leaders now. Caden Rush and Brian Johnson. Let's go in-car cam with Brian Johnson. I want to see what he sees in his mirror here. Let's go in the cockpit. See how he's handling that machine there. He's got a windshield full of the rear end of the 15 with flying arrows written all over it.
No more thank you, Zach, on there.
No, they thanked Zach enough last week with that win. But he doesn't. I mean, he's not lifting at all. He's not giving Caden an inch to get a pass in. He doesn't want him to pull away. As you can see in car there, Brian Johnson, his tack is red about 3/4 of a lap down. It goes red right now. It stays there until he gets into that turn. So he's red more than halfway down these straightaways. He's got that thing pegged right out. He's giving it all he's got.
Oh, we got a little loose there coming off the corner.
Yeah, I think there's a way that Caden's got his setup on there. He's making these cars behind him get very unstable. Maybe he's got a low downforce or something that's got the front end of these cars getting very squirrely. And when they get like that,
Oh,
they're
he's
chasing.
on the back of him.
Yeah, he is on him. He's not letting Caden Rush breathe. But this is what Caden wants. You know, he wants this competition, and he's looking to the outside. He's not going to be able to make it stick, but he wants that competition. He's not in here just to run some laps and win a race. He's in here to earn that race, you know. And
Oh, there he
Brian's
goes.
looking on the outside.
He's taking it.
Boy, if you could see the in-car, he was right and left seesawing on that wheel. That caused him some problems. Brian better back it down a little bit to save those tires and pick his passes when he gets the right opportunity instead of trying to force it. He'll take both him and Caden out racing like that.
And right now, I mean, let's just look. Let's just go back to outside cam. I mean, Brian Johnson's got a second lead right now. All right, a tenth of a second. I'm sorry. No, that's a second. Yeah, he's got about a second lead right now. So really, all he's battling for is the lead right now. I mean, if Caden Rush slows him down, it's not going to affect him that much.
No, Brian should calm it down a little bit and just put his laps in, because he's going to end up losing this race on his own, because he is battling that wheel. He's trying to go to the outside, try to pass him on the outside, and that's going to do him. He's just eating his tires up. Caden wants to see this in his rearview mirror. I bet you that we've seen Stephen West, if we were to watch his in-car, he did the same thing. He just used up his material. And we almost seen Brian Johnson meet the wall there by accident. He needs to calm it down, back it down a little bit, because he's got a good second and a half gap between himself and third place James Mullins.
Oh, James Mullins up here in 6th.
James Mullins is a 6th car. He's in 3rd. James Mullins coming.
Yeah, he moved all the way up. I think last time we talked to him, he was in 20th.
Yeah, he started this race out 16th, and when he restarted, he was in 21st. He was 21st. Almost last. He's came up from the restart all the way up into 3rd. He is walking around these drivers, and he is gaining ground dramatically on Brian Johnson and Caden Rush. He is probably going to take the lead of this race if this keeps going, because I'm in the in-car with him right now, and he is smooth behind the wheel. He sees what's in front of him. He sees the racing going on, and he knows to use the material to try to stay one in front of the other, and the other one trying to catch the other one. He has pretty much caught Brian Johnson. He took that 1 second, 1.5 second gap between 2nd and 3rd down to 4/10 of a second.
Because keep in mind, when I was talking about that gap, Mike Eames was still in 3rd. He just went around Mike Eames so fast. Well, he passed Mike Eames whenever we started talking about him. And he's already about to be passing Brian Johnson.
And he is. He's got Brian Johnson. He'll get him on the inside. Maybe not this time. He's going to be great racing right here. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Nose to tail. James Mullins come in here, and he's stirring it up. And James Mullins got Brian Johnson into 4, a little squirrely, and able to pass him. He's got to do that same move to Caden Rush, and he will take the lead. Watch out, Caden Rush. We have a new boy in town by the name of James Mullins. He is coming for you. It's going to be 2 laps. And I think Caden Rush seen that James Mullins in that 6th car had kind of took the draft away from Brian Johnson and took that position. He may give it to him.
I don't know. It definitely doesn't seem like James Mullins is fighting as hard as Brian Johnson was. See, if you look on, not right now, of course, as we're already past this, but whenever Brian Johnson was behind.
Oh, but he's going to the inside. James Mullins is more of a patient driver, it appears. He's going to get the inside right here.
He's going to push him up.
I thought he was going to get in and spin him right out. Caden Rush is worried right now. Seeing him behind the wheel, he is probably just manhandling that wheel.
And going back, when we watched Brian Johnson behind him, there was like a good gap after we got off the corners, and Caden Rush is in the wall, it looked like.
Yeah, he clipped the wall. Caden Rush is sweating that driver right behind him. James Mullins, he's thinking to himself, how did this man go from 22nd all the way up to 2nd in less than 15 laps? He must have a rocket underneath that hood. And he is wanting 1st place, and I'm going to almost bet you he's going to get it unless he makes a huge mistake.
And I don't know, he's been staying glued to his bumper throughout the whole track. I mean, even in the corners, he is right on his bumper.
Yeah, I think he's putting pressure on Caden. Maybe he's watched Caden race, and he's getting the inside. He's going to get him. He's going to get him on the inside, and he's going to take that. He passes him. And just like that, easy peasy. And there goes Caden Rush to 2nd. That's the first time we've seen Caden Rush in 2nd place in a very long time. I mean, now let's see what James Mullins can do. Can he walk away? He's already put 3/10 of a gap on Caden Rush.
Going into the standings, Caden Rush has finished in the top 5 every race he's raced in.
Yep, the number 6 not only passed Caden Rush in the 15 car, but he has put him already a half a second down in less than 2 laps. James Mullins has got the setup. He has got that thing glued down. He is pulling away as we speak. Boys, James Mullins came to win. Caden Rush is deflated right now. He's thinking to himself, how in the heck did this happen? This guy comes around me from 22nd. Now he's in the lead in less than 20 laps. And he's put me a second down in second place. Caden Rush he either used up his material or he just doesn't have the competition for James Mullins in this 6th car.
And man, it looks like these two cars are going rocket speed around this track. I mean, they're leaving Brian Johnson in the dust right now.
Yeah, Brian Johnson's almost 2 seconds back in 3rd place. But we've got 1st place is James Mullins in the 6th car. He's a second ahead of Caden Rush. Remember, Caden Rush has been a dominating factor in these races for the last, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe even longer. Even on the road courses, he's a contender. He's the one to watch out for. And we've got James Mullins, who, he just shows up on the scene here, and he must love this track. And he is showing why he loves this track, because he has put 1.2 second gap between him and Caden Rush.
Yeah, they come on some lap cars, the 43 of Paul Olson. I think that's the 83 of Craig Johnson.
Yeah, all James has to do is clear these lap cars. Let's see if they're going to pull up and let him by.
It's good to see that we're already on lap 45 and we haven't had a car go a lap down yet. I say that as he goes ahead and goes around Paul Olson's just going to give it to him.
Yeah, I think Paul sees that, we've got Speed Racer up here, and consistently Caden Rush is not letting, James Mullins get that far ahead of him. It's staying about 1.2 seconds. He's not letting it get 2, 3, 4 seconds like normally Caden would put on another driver. But the race is just continually going. We're seeing speeds. James Mullins' lap times are extremely better than Caden Rush's at this point. I don't know if maybe James Mullins took tires on that last caution, because we don't think Caden did. We're talking about he ran his fastest lap here in the race. Let's see here. He was at a 22 in the race, 22.40. He just ran a 23.665. So we're talking about a 1.5 seconds fall off now. He has not stopped and got tires.
Coming by the 17.
He is lapping cars. No, I take that back. It does look like James Mullins took tires on that first caution, because we've got Caden Rush on 47 lap tires and James Mullins on 33 lap tires. So he's on 14 lap newer tires.
Yeah, he took a 36-second pit stop. I think he was trying to repair some of that damage, though. I don't know if that's necessarily tires or just when he went to go repair his damage.
Yeah, because his stop was 36 seconds.
So
he probably got some damage fixed there, and if he was smart, he took some tires as well. But he is passing these cars. I mean, he's lapping folks left and right here.
There he comes a Minazzi Major over here, the 82 car.
He just put him down a lap. I mean, we've only got 17 drivers on the lead lap right now. And James Mullins is putting them down one by one. But the idea of this race is not to race it, it's to finish it. I mean, we've got these guys that are having struggles on this track right now. And it's not too hard to do, but consistently James Mullins is running at about an average 23.5 around this track. Now let's see what Caden Rush is running around this track. Yeah, and Caden Rush is running a consistent 23.7s, 23.8. So he's 0.3 slower. And he also is now 2 seconds behind first place. He's finding it a little bit harder, Caden is, to get around these lap cars.
And
I think
Brian,
James Mullins, he came in this race where nobody has any ill towards him. But we have Caden Rush, who's maybe moved a couple of these people who wants to pass. He might move them in the past. As Caden gets around the 82, Minazzi Majors.
Oh, Paul Olson's in the wall. I don't know if he was in the wall or he just was in pit road, but I think he was in the wall.
Marty Walters in at 5'11" is James Mullins' next target here. Once he gets around him, that'll be 16 cars left on the lead lap. As he
There you
gets
go.
around the 5'11", he's around him. His next target will be David Gervais at 5. If he can lap his whole field, that would be amazing.
I mean, he's got 200 laps to do it.
Yeah, we are just a quarter of the way through. We're just 1/4 of this race, and we have already got, a good 5-6 cars that are a lap down. And this field only started out with 22, so that's a quarter of this field. Almost a quarter of this field's already a lap down. And here comes James Mullins. He sees the windshield view of David Gervais's rear in that 5 car. And he is pulling on him rather fast. So he's going to put David Gervais down in about a lap. But remember that 5 car was involved in that accident a little earlier, Ron Hollyfield in that 90. So he may not have all his speed.
And somebody's wrecking, it looks like. I hear some cars crashing in the wall. Looks like the 17 over there. He's still going to be on track.
Oh, David Gervais got a little loose. Oh, we have somebody in the wall.
Yeah, that was the 17 there.
Did he lose it?
I think he did going into the corner.
Wow, looks like everybody is loose. Here we go. We're passing by. That's the 16. The 16 of Clifton Cockrell. So he just put Clifton Cockrell down that fast, too. So we have now, going after Austin Bulkey, we only have 14 cars left on the lead lap. And we're going after Austin Bulkey now.
And just to
Austin
go back,
Bulkey in the 25.
David Gervais actually started in front of James Mullen during that caution we had. Whenever they restarted, David Gervais was in front of James Mullen. Now he has come full circuit and already lapped David Gervais.
Yeah, so that's 23 seconds around this track. And David Gervais is also running roughly about 23, 24 seconds. So that means he has to run a good 3/10 to 4/10 faster a lap than David Gervais in order to not only pass by him, but come right back by him again. And here he goes. He's going to put Austin Bulkey down a lap here. And he makes it look like it's easy.
And man, I'm watching this in the blimp cam right now, and he is flying by these cars like he's got a rocket under that thing.
Yeah, there is only 12 cars on the lead lap. Michael Knight would be the next car. That's a 68 of Michael Knight. He would be the next one that James Mullins in the 6 car is looking for to put a lap down. We have only got 12 cars on the lead lap. Half the field is a lap down now. And we're on lap 60. This is an exceptional performance. And we have 3.5 seconds between James Mullins in the first place and second place Caden Rush. Normally we would see Caden Rush doing this. Today we're seeing James Mullins in the 6 car put Caden Rush back. Is Caden Rush, he's our points champion right now, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is a points champion. This is like watching, I don't know, Joe Nemechek Jr., Joe Nemechek racing against, Kyle Busch. We're watching, Joe Nemechek pulling away from Kyle Busch. This is amazing how this is working.
And Brian Johnson's actually about 2 seconds behind Caden Rush. He hasn't been able to recover.
Oh, we watched James Mullen get a little squirrely and catch that, but he's got some traffic in front of him that are side by side, and these guys are battling. So the only thing that could take James Mullins out right now would be a mistake from himself or a mistake from another driver. As he comes around the inside of 37 of Andrew Melvin, he passes him with ease. These guys are being pretty courteous. I think they really like what they're seeing. They're thinking to themselves, if we don't have a car fast enough to beat Caden Rush and Brian Johnson, I'm glad this guy does. As he comes to the inside of the 68 there, and he takes Michael Knight and Gregory Heckes. Twofer. That was a twofer. In one turn, he took 2 positions. That puts us with 9 cars on the lead lap. Jay Felton in the 8 car is his next target. Will he finish this race with everybody a lap down.
I mean, Jay Felton isn't even that far ahead of him right now. I mean, Jay Felton is I'll tell you when he enters turn 3, and we'll see how the difference is. James Felton just entered turn 3.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of jumping on the James Mullins bandwagon here. I'm a fan.
I already got my flag printed in the background.
Yeah, I am a fan. I'm waiting for the shirts to come out. I'm wanting to buy me a James Mullins number 6 shirt there. That's what is it on the back of his car? Norton. What does it say?
Let's go to a chopper cam or something behind him.
Looks like Ron Hollyfield in that 90 must have pitted because he's coming around on fresh tires. But
Yep. Ron Holyfield, I think, pitted 5 laps ago.
where is the 8 of Jay Felton? Is that him right up there, right in front of Ron Hollyfield?
That would be
if Ron
correct.
doesn't take out Jay Felton, then he's we're going to see James Mullins passing him with ease here.
And it looks like it's going to be Norton Racing Designs on the back of that car.
Norton Racing Design. They need to put some shirts out because I am a fan. And there goes Jay Felton down the lap. So now we are sitting here with 8 cars
Caution's out.
on the late lap. Caution is out, and this could either be a good thing or a bad thing. Now we have some drivers that have already pitted. You know, James Mullins is only on 54 lap tires. He is 14 laps fresher tires than second and third place. I do believe we're going to see Caden Rush and Brian Johnson, and more than likely Kenny Powell. Kenny Powell is on 68 lap tires, and Kenny Powell is in 4th position.
So
Reckon Ralph, Kenny Powell is in 4th position. Am I watching this race right? Is something going on here? Is Kenny Powell in the 4th position?
Surprisingly, he hasn't wrecked enough, and that wreck is actually going to be by Mike Eames there. Going into turn 3, he hit the brakes a little too hard and then slammed into the inside wall, which slammed him back into the outside wall there.
Let's watch a pit stop here. Let's see what James Mullins does on his pit stop. He's pitting now. I'm pretty certain he's going to take 4 tires. It looks like everybody's coming on the pit road. Nobody's going to try to roll the dice here. Remember, they can go 80 laps on field run. You know, the cars that are staying out, those are lap down cars. They want to get back on the lead lap, which is good because I mean it took about 50 laps for them to go a lap down. So if that's the case, there'll be a lap down on lap 100 to 120.
Keep in mind, some of them can't pit yet because they are, in fact, a lap down.
Right. And we're seeing that James Mullins is, in fact, taking 4 tires, and he's off.
Now, let's see if we have a race off pit road here.
The pit lane or pit road speed is 35 miles an hour. That does not look very difficult. However, when you're coming off pit road, coming off the track from 175 down to 35, that is extremely difficult. And you can abuse your material here very fast. Heat the brakes up.
Wow. Stephen West just beat Brian Johnson off pit road there. It was a very close battle, but he got it off of him.
Yeah, I'm still not giving up hope of thinking that we could have Brian Johnson up there, battling up with this James Mullins. And I'm super impressed with the 24 of Kenny Powell. Let's see how he comes off pit road.
He's going to be 7th right now.
Yeah, but remember, let's keep in mind, Kenny Powell was 13th, and now he's up in 4th. The biggest move of this race was Jay Felton. He started 20th, and he's in 8th. But
I think the biggest move of this race was James Mullins.
yeah, I think James is, because James started 16th, and he's in 1st. That's 15. And not to mention, when he did that, he put a large majority, 70% of this field was a lap down. I mean, and if we wouldn't have had a caution, we might have seen more. These guys know James Mullins, he came to run. He came to race, and he obviously is loving this track.
So who's going to be our wave around? I think it's going to be Jay Felton. I think Jay Felton's going to be our wave around right now.
Oh, look, we got Matt Hornbuckle in the 56 is up there. He started 18th, and he's in 5th. And Matt Hornbuckle in that 56 machine, he come up to meet with these guys. He wants to race with up here in the front. Let's see what the restart looks like. Let's see. I can only imagine that James Mullins is going to pull away, but he's going to have Caden Rush right to his outside. And I don't think Caden on fresh tires is going to let him have it as he was before. You have to remember, Caden Rush was on 14 laps older tires than James Mullins. So this is really going to tell if James Mullins is the wonder boy at Dover or if he just had fresher tires and was able to do better. But we still have, 8 cars on the lead lap until this wave around comes through.
I don't think Cecil Keith, he may get it. I don't think Cecil Keith is going to get the wave around. I'm trying to figure out where, no, he's not going to get the wave around right now. So it looks like we're going to have 7 cars on the lead lap.
We are at lap 72. This is about a little over a third of the way through. And we have got, 3/4 of this field is a lap down. Some of them are 2 laps down. Cars 12th all the way back to 22nd are 2 or more laps down. There's only 4 cars that are only a lap down.
And I got to say, I'm really impressed it hasn't been the pace cars race.
I am too. I predicted 5, and this is caution number 2. So we've got 3 more to go, but we are, like I said, almost a third of the way through this race. So 2, I can foresee us getting this 5. As this race goes on and on and on, we're probably going to see more and more frequent cautions. As Caden Rush pulls up there just to look in the eyes of James Mullins to see what he's thinking. The restart's going to start with James Mullins on the inside of number 6 with Stephen West right behind him. But we've seen Stephen West before. When he got up there, he lost control. So if he tries to eat up his tires like he did before, I feel bad for everybody behind him.
Yeah, because this is going to get real squirrely, and it's going to be interesting to watch how this goes down.
We're going to go green this time by, Bo.
Lights are off.
We're going to go green. Let's see how this works itself out. Boy, these guys are bundled right up. And he go, boy, James Mullins lead. James Mullins took it out of park and put it in drive and took off. He rocketed out of there.
I don't know if you saw that, but Caden Rush had a little bobble. I don't think he was ready to go.
No. James Mullins thought he was racing a dragster. He just took off. The light went green and he was gone. He's already put a half a second working on a full second in front of Caden Rush. He's just been that quick.
And just to go over it, we only have 7 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, we have James Mullins in first place, Caden Rush in second, Brian Johnson in third, Stephen West in fourth, Matt Hornbuckle in fifth, and Matt Hornbuckle is fifth, and then sixth place is Kenny Powell, seventh is Chris Johnson, and the rest of them are a lap down, starting with Cecil Keith in eighth, Austin Bulkey in ninth, and Michael Knight rounding off the top 10.
Looks like the 16 and a 3, so Clifton Cockrell and Mike Eames are still down there in pit road.
Let's check out the lap differences between first and second place. We've got the last lap that Mullins ran. It was a 22.016. The lap before that was a 21.919. So let's check out Caden Rush's second place. Let's see what his lap time was. Last 2 laps, Caden Rush ran a 22.154, and the lap before that was a 22.044. He's a whole second slower than the leader. So unless something goes bad for James Mullins, we're probably looking at our race winner, James Mullins. If he keeps putting the field and they keep being courteous and letting them put him a lap down without trying to race him, James Mullins is pulling away. He's the second half gap between him and second place Caden Rush. And behind Caden Rush is the third place of Brian Johnson. And Brian Johnson's only 2 tenths behind him. in third. And right behind him is Stephen West in fourth with only 0.2. So second through fifth are within 0.2 to 0.3 of a second apart from each other.
And I'm surprised that Mike Eames and Clifton Cockrell haven't taken it to the garage yet. They're still on pit road. I think they definitely got some big damage.
Yeah, I think Clifton Cockrell's been in there for 12 minutes, so he must have heavy damage. Michael Eames in that 3 car has got 9 minutes being in there right now, so he's got some heavy damage.
Michael Eames was the cause of that last caution there. I think its engine's messed up because he slanted that outside wall pretty fast.
It was like Stephen West is putting a little pressure again on the second place car of Caden Rush. This didn't work out well for Stephen before, but he's not caring. He's like, listen.
Kenny Powell just took it to the garage, wrecking Kenny in 7th.
Oh no, I think Kenny, yeah, he had some issues. So it looks like, but coming back here, Stephen West took Caden Rush second place. Caden is going to let him have it. And right behind Caden is Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson is closing fast. Something may be wrong with Caden.
I wonder if he pushed himself too hard trying to catch up with James Owens.
Well, I mean, he might have used up his material because it looks like these guys in second, or Brian Johnson and Stephen West, are just walking around him. And earlier in this race, they couldn't get by him. So maybe Caden Rush's theory is, I'll try what James Mullen did. I'll go back in the 22nd spot here and see if I can work my way all the way up to the lead. Maybe he thinks there's a momentum, there's a draft that's going to push him right to the lead from 22nd place. Maybe he thinks that's where James Mullen came from.
I don't know, but I can tell you it definitely does give you a confidence boost right there. If you can come all the way from 22nd to 1st, that's a big boost right there.
Yeah, not only have you driven past 21 drivers, but you did it clean without worrying about them wrecking you. So that's a heck of an accomplishment. I mean, I can't say enough on how impressed I am with the driving skills of James Mullins right now.
Yeah, I definitely can tell you I'm making a flag right now for that young man.
But we're watching Brian Johnson as he puts the heat on Caden Rush, and Caden Rush has got the heat on Stephen West. And Brian Johnson is trying to find the right spot to put Caden Rush behind him. And then we've got Matt Hornbuckle. There's a driver right there. He is just watching this battle for second, third, and fourth in front of him, thinking to himself, you guys will go ahead and wreck, and I'll move my way into second. But as Matt Hornbuckle, he catches the wall, gets a little squirrely there. Might be causing him some bad luck. I think Kenny Powell is back behind the wheel. I think he had some problems, but I think he's back behind the wheel. I don't know if he's back on the track yet, but he's now 5-6 laps down.
Yeah, let me tell you, that Al curse is a real thing there.
Yeah, it happens, and I hate to do that to folks, you know. I picked Caden Rush to win this race, and he's dropped down into third, and he's about to get overtaken by the 4-car Brian Johnson.
You were over here talking about wrecking Kenny up here in 4th. Maybe he had something, and there he goes, disconnecting.
Yeah, it's not been a great thing for him. I don't know. So I guess they ought to buy me lunch if they want to not. If I have issues during the race, I'll cast and promote it, you know.
Oh, it looks like Caden Rush almost got to Stephen West.
Yeah, he's wanting that second place back. He might have got his second win here, but Stephen West, Brian Johnson was going to try to follow him right through, and Stephen West shut the door on him. Stephen West is not done with Caden Rush. He's putting the pressure on him. It's a real thing. These drivers don't like somebody that wins all the time. I mean, you got the real world with NASCAR, and folks don't like Kyle Busch. They don't really know Kyle Busch. They don't like him. Why? Because he wins races. So they don't like him for that. The man's a wheel man, and he can drive. As we're seeing with James Mullins the same way, and you can't take anything away from Caden Rush in that 15 car. He can wheel that car. He just had a competitor that come on here that had a real good set that probably absolutely loves this track and probably won't race the rest of the season. But James Mullins came to win.
He's definitely putting the showdown on right now. I mean, Caden Rush is he's not quite 3 seconds, but he's almost 3 seconds behind James Mullen right now.
Second, third, and fourth are 2/10, not even 2/10 apart from each other. Brian Johnson, he's getting squirrely. The front end gets loose on him. It's like he's got that front end too high, and the air is catching underneath that thing and picking it up. And that's a pretty sharp car he's got right there, that red and black paint scheme.
Man, I think Kenny Powell's just sitting in the pits watching it from pit road right now.
I think Kenny Powell's probably went to the hauler and got his wallet. He's in there gambling, betting on that James Mullen's going to win this race.
Hey, that's one way to make some money.
Yeah, most definitely. We have got 6 drivers on the lead lap, and when are we going to see 5 drivers on? Chris Johnson, how far behind? Chris Johnson is James Mullins.
All right, well, Chris Johnson just went into turn 3, and James Mullen. So Chris Johnson exits 4 as James Mullen exits 2. So they're about halfway apart right now.
So we're saying they're about 14 seconds roughly away from each other.
I think my telemetry data right now is saying about 9 seconds. Yes, sir.
Ought to be interesting. He's going to have another car lap down, and then so what he's done is 9 seconds. Let's put that into perspective. He's running these they're roughly about 22-second laps here on an average. He's 9 seconds behind the 6th position car. And in front of the 6th position car is Matt Hornbuckle by roughly about 3 seconds. So 12 seconds, and he has already caught back up to the top 5. It's amazing. He's gonna lap 2nd place if we keep this going.
And I can tell you one thing, he definitely has a fast car, and I don't even think he's full of pushing it right now. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but he's just been kind of hanging out behind 17 for a little bit as the 17 lets him go by there.
Yeah, he kind of didn't want to be, none of these drivers want to be the reason why this leader that's got a 3-second gap between 2nd place wrecks. They don't want to be the cause. James can do it all by himself, but it doesn't look like he's going to make that mistake. He's got a smooth line. He's catching the right almost on the crease at the bottom of the turns, and he just drifts right up to the wall. You watch, he stays right in the rubber, and he's coming past. Is that Paul Olsen in the 43? Yeah, he's gonna pass Paul Olsen in the 43 to put him down another lap.
Yeah, 43's been down pit road recently. He's just not coming off.
It was sad to see what happened with Kenny Powell. He was running in the top, in the top lead pack there, not even a lap down, and he had internet issues. He's had a rough go out. Whether it's an internet issue or a wrecking issue, he's just not had a very good season. You know what happens to folks that have seasons like that? They become car owners.
Kenny Powell. Go ahead.
We got Minazzi Majors just went down another lap.
Yeah, it looks like Minazzi Majors were going to fight for it until he saw who that car was.
Yeah, he said, nah, I'm not going to pass that. And it doesn't look like James Mullins has put that much gain on Chris Johnson in that 6. It looks like they're pretty much consistent right now. All he's lapping is lap cars that are already a lap or down.
It looks like Chris Johnson's about, I think about 11 seconds back right now. So he's gained like 3 seconds.
That's pretty good. We're more than halfway through this thing. And 83, is that the 83 to 33 we just passed? Was that Craig Johnson?
Yep, that would be Craig Johnson. And just to give a little update on Kenny Powell, he said he blew up. His engine blew up. If
we get another caution, I would like to just have a small chat with James Mullins if we can get him in chat. Reach him on his mic if we get another caution. I predict we're going to have another caution. We've already ran 36 laps. We've got about another 12, 15, 20 laps, and we're going to have a caution. So we're on lap 125 maybe. We'll have a caution.
And keep in mind, they have 4 tire changes here, and most of them only took 2.
Yeah, I kind of believe that you want to go about taking 68 laps on a set of tires is really pushing. I mean, you're really risking it. Your performance is going to go down. So if you get about 45 to 50 laps out of some tires, you got to pit. You know, that's a pretty good pit. And I think that's why they're getting 4 sets of tires. Oh,
he's in the wall.
Here we go, the 511. There's that 511 of Marty Walter.
You know,
Just puts him another lap down.
I think maybe James decided he was going a little too fast and he didn't want to hit the brakes, so he just hit the wall.
Yeah, there's one way to slow you down is take the right side of the paint off the car.
Caden Rush actually looks like he might be trying to join the party again. He got away from Stephen West there, and he's about 2.5 seconds back.
Well, you might be seeing James Mullins is backing it off a little bit to preserve some of his tires. I mean, he's already thought to himself, listen, I don't have to win every lap here. I can save my tires. Caden Rush can come back up here, and I'll even give him the lead, but he's not going to keep it for long. I already shown him I can take it. He may be playing with him.
He may even be trying to get some extra points to make sure he gets some league points in there.
Yeah, we're a good chunk of the way through this season here on this league, so I don't think James coming in here and he would be able to take the championship away at this point. I'd have to do the math to see if that's even possible. But a good win tonight would certainly put a big dent in Caden Rush.
And it definitely would. And if Stephen West can get around Caden Rush tonight, before this race is over, if Stephen West can get around Caden Rush, it's going to be interesting. I don't think it'll push Stephen West ahead of Caden Rush quite yet, but I definitely think it'll make sure Caden Rush has his big boy pants on the rest of the week.
Well, we've got Daytona next week, Bo, and Daytona is historically a wreck. Everybody's going so fast, and the draft is so wicked that it could take out some points champions really easily.
Let me see if I can pull up our standings really fast so I can see if I can do some math here. So right now, our standings leader is Caden Rush, obviously, with 448 championship points. Right behind him is Stephen West, who yet to have a win this season is still in second place. All those top fives that he has achieved, he has 381 points. So if Stephen West can get in front of Caden Rush before this race is over, I think it'll definitely give him a run for his money for the rest of the season.
I'm panning through the field here to see if there's a little bit more excitement going on than just watching the James Mullins show here. I'm just watching some of the drivers on how they drive, and everybody's kind of trying to stay in that middle of the track where the rubber's been laid down. That's where the best grip's at. As you drift up to the wall, I think there's some dips in the back stretch and the front stretch that's getting them, if they get it just right, that's what pulls their car right into the wall here. Especially coming off of turn 2 there. I am impressed. I mean, I've watched this practice where a lot of these drivers had lost control coming out of turn 3 and 4 across the start-finish line. They have lost control right there. And this we have yet to see. And we've seen some pretty spectacular racing so far. Nobody's really, putting a challenge on anybody. Nobody's really giving a bumper. Gregory Hectus in that 87 machine looks like he's hit everything except a lotto. It's just amazing. I can't find any of these drivers that I'm looking at thinking, man. I believe some of these guys are just simply racing right now just to get through it. They're not really trying to push it. They're not racing for any kind of championship points. They just want to get this race right here behind them. This is not particularly the most favorite track for many drivers. Obviously, James Mullins absolutely loves it. And I'm sure Caden Rush and Stephen West do too. Matt Hornbuckle, he's probably not too disappointed with this track. He's running in fourth, pretty strong in fourth place. But he is got Brian Johnson, was not too long ago in third place, right behind him. So Brian Johnson is probably using up his tires, and Matt Hornbuckle is on like 1 or 2 lap older tires. I don't know how he got that to handle. But the Johnson brothers, we got Brian and Chris, they're in 5th and 6th right now. And Chris in 6th place is 4 seconds behind Brian Johnson. And Brian is right on the bumper of Matt Horn. I think he's going to probably stay there. They're just going to ride their way through. At this point, I would think to myself, I got no material for James Mullins. Okay? Stephen West has already lost control and almost took out half the field, so I really don't want to be anywhere near him. So I may just stay back here in 4th and 5th and finish this race out here. But that's not Brian Johnson. He's coming to the inside of Matt Hornbuckle as he takes 4th. Matt gave him no fight for that. He said, you may have it. Take it as you want it. But it does look like Caden Rush in 2nd place is catching James Mullins. He's got under a 2-second gap between them now. They were almost a 2.8 second gap. Now they're at 2.1. He's catching. Looks like Paul Olson took his car to the garage. Paul has called it a day in that 43. He's had about as much fun as he can handle.
And the 511's back down pit road.
We've got James Mullins is roughly about 5 seconds now behind 6th place Chris Johnson. He has caught the leaders here. Somehow, some way, he has caught the leaders. Leader goes to the inside of the 87 and gets by him really easy. Gregory Hectus doesn't give any fight to him.
Yeah, and I think Caden Rush is coming in to see what he can get done here too.
We should possibly see some cautions here anytime now. I predicted this about 2 laps ago and it didn't happen. So I predict we're going to see a caution sometime soon here. These guys are racing pretty clean. And for everybody watching, you would think this looks pretty easy, but I can tell you from experience, this is anything but easy. As we're coming into these turns, these drivers are dragging the brake. They're barely touching the brake, and they have the gas all down as well. So they're dragging the brake just to slow them down a little bit until that car can get planted, until it seats down and grabs grip, and then they can take off. This is a very difficult track because you're going down that backstretch at 170 miles an hour and you're doing these turns at roughly about 120. And you're trying to keep that turn, keep it planted. You're trying to keep it so it's turning instead of pushing like a dump truck right into the wall. So this is a very difficult track to manage. You wouldn't guess that with James Mullins if you're watching him, but it is a very difficult track to manage. And in the meantime, you're dodging cars. As we come past the 37 here, James Mullins puts, that's Andrew Melvin a lap down. Another lap down. Andrew Melvin is already 3 laps down. He was already 2 laps. He's now 3 laps down. So it looks like he's got to put David Gervais a lap down. could get up to Chris Johnson, and he is slowly catching Chris. He's about 4 seconds behind Chris Johnson in that 6th position.
Caden Rush about 3 seconds back right now.
Now, Caden's lost ground. He was catching it, but he's losing ground. I mean, he was down to a 2-second flat, and he's lost a 1.5 seconds. So he's used up his material. They all have 61 to 62 laps on these tires.
And I mean, the fuel one is 85 laps.
Yeah, we may see a green flag pit stop here. I mean, what right now? Boy, James Mullins is getting close to that wall. He's feeling those tires.
Oh,
We got
Caden
some-
Rush.
Was that Caden coming on pit road?
No, Caden Rush dove it under, what car was that? The 87, I think.
Oh, that's Gregory Hectus, who's hit everything except a lotto.
So that was Matt Hornbuckle that, I don't know what you would call that down pit road.
Well, you've got to slow this unit down. I mean, it's 150 to 160 miles an hour, 120 turn. You come off there, you've got to slow it down to 35 miles an hour. It takes skill to not lose the rear end of this car to slow it down 90 miles an hour in a matter of half a second. So with that in mind, we have got 5 cars on the lead lap that Matt Hornbuckle had pitted. The only way that could hurt Matt Hornbuckle right now is if the caution came out.
I think even then, I think he would get the... no, he wouldn't. It wouldn't be the first car lap down.
No, he's 3 laps down. Right now, he is 3 laps down.
Oh, Matt Hornbuckle just went by the 15. It looks like the 90 of Ron Hollyfield's going back down pit road as well.
And we should see Gregory Hectus coming down pit road here shortly, because I think I just heard radio chatter that he come down pit road as well in tires.
Yeah,
They're not want to
here
take
it
this to 86.
Here he comes. And I think it's just such a thing with these drivers. I mean, Gregory Hectus is already 3 laps down. I don't think pit strategy is really going to help him that much right now.
And there, 82 pulls away, and let's James Mullins on the inside to pass.
Austin Bolke down pit road as well. 25 car there.
Yeah, if I am.
It's that car that almost got in the Minazzi Major. Is that the 56 there? Here he comes on Jay Mullins. The 56 is flying around this track
Oh,
right now.
somehow, some way, if you look, Matt Hornbuckle does not have a hood. The 56 of Matt Hornbuckle just came past the leader, but when he came past, he did not have a hood.
Oh, I see that. I guess it gave him a speed boost, though. Look how fast he's driving around these cars.
He is a shoot. He's driving like James Mullins.
I mean, he
James-
almost took out James Mullins.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a hood. He's got no rim resistance. He took that hood out, and it looks like the tire wear is wearing on James Mullins. He's got a little squirrely there as he's trying to get safely around David Gervais.
Matt Hornbuckle getting a little squirrely too. I think this is the smart move. That's how you don't have anything to do with tape overheating.
Yeah, and you've got free wind there. He probably told him, forget about the tape, take my hood off.
Wow, Matt Hornbuckle. He does not want this race to end.
Now he's trying to get back his laps. He is down 2 laps right now. So what his theory is, if he can get far enough away from James Mullins, James Mullins has to pit under green. He's going to get back on the lead lap and potentially, depending on the stop James Mullins had, he potentially could come out with the lead.
I mean, let me tell you, Matt Hornbuckle is not one to back down.
Yeah, he's racing so fast he lost his hood. And he doesn't care. He let somebody else pick it up. Oh, the It got into the wall as the leader goes to the inside of it. We got the 2 here of, so Michael Knight is the next car that a leader needs to go by on the 68. Once he gets past them, he has caught the back of the field. He's caught car 1 through 5. He is on the tail end of the back of the field, and he is 7 seconds in front of Stephen West. Caden Rush hasn't pitted yet, so Stephen West took second place away from Caden Rush. He missed that pass.
I think Mike Knight is already a lap down, so that's going to put him 2 laps down.
Yeah, he is the last one that this leader needs to put a lap down before he catches, and he just does that with ease. So now he is hunting down Chris Johnson in the 5th position. He has already lapped the entire field except for the next 5 drivers. As Ron Hollyfield in the 90 car, he's a lap down. He's more than one lap down, but he's a lap down car. He comes by the leader, put him only 3 laps down now.
Not only that, Mike Knight is 2 laps down. So from 6 down is all 2 laps down.
Yeah, and the top 10 drivers have yet to pit except for Matt Hornbuckle, who is now 13 laps on tires. So he's 13 laps. He's about 61 laps fresher tires than the rest of the top 10. And he is staying strong on 8th position.
I definitely think I'd see the top 4 coming into pit road sometime soon.
Yeah, they're on 77 lap tires. I'm gonna say that we're gonna see him here in 1 or 2 laps coming down pit road, and this is where it shakes out. I do believe we're gonna see either this lap or the very next lap they're pitting.
Yeah.
We might see them now. I think I just heard chatter that James Mullins is gonna pit this time by. As he gets a little squirrely, he tries to slow that hot rod down. He's coming down pit road. We'll see some brake smoke. He keeps it from hitting the wall. He brings it down, 36 miles an hour.
Stephen West coming down pit road as well. Caden Rush is going to be your new race leader.
Caden Rush is probably thinking to himself, he can make it to the end if he can just take 1 or 2 more laps around this place. But that's just going to put him down. Let's see what we do as far as a lap time. All right. James Mullins is 8 seconds.
There goes James.
And he's off.
With tires.
He is off, but he's got traffic on pit road. It's kind of blocking him all the way around. Brian Johnson's on pit road in the 4 car. Now we should see Matt Hornbuckle once Caden Rush pits. We should see Matt Hornbuckle, which I think Caden's pitting right now. We should see Matt Hornbuckle get back up on the lead lap now. And let's see where he comes out. He should come out maybe 2nd or 3rd.
Matt Hornbuckle's in 6th right now. Let's see how this works out for him.
He's going to move up. He'll come out 2nd or 3rd.
He just passed Stephen West. He's up to 5th. There he goes, passing the 2 and the 15. He's up to 3rd.
Michael Knight's got a pit though. Michael Knight's on 80 lap tires. He's waiting for a caution. He's on the oldest set of tires out there. He's trying to stay, and he wanted to lead a lap for points here. But Matt Hornbuckle drops to 4th as Stephen West comes out there and passes it. And that's going to put Caden Rush at 7th. The Johnson brothers are again 5th and 6th. So they pitted, everybody pit cycles went through, but Matt Hornbuckle is not going to be as fast as the rest of these drivers in the top 6 here because he is on 20 laps older tires, besides Michael Knight, who is now on 81 lap tires.
You know, his fuel's going to run out. Our fuel window today is estimated 85 laps. I mean, he's got 3 laps in it before his gas goes out.
Yeah, I think he's going to fit. I mean, there's no way in the world Michael Knight's going to stay out there much longer. He just wanted to see what the front of his field looked like.
Staying out. I think he was looking to pit there, but the 83 got into his way because he was definitely slowing down a lot going into that corner.
maybe Michael Knight does not know where pit road is. You know, he just passed it. You know, he's going to pass it up again. Unless he gets down there, he's not going to make it. He's going to slow that car down. And he's not pitting this time by. He's coming past at 83 lap time. He's doing nothing to himself right now but losing track time. I mean, he is running 25-second laps, and they're running 20-second laps. He is 5 seconds slower. This isn't a fuel mileage strategy here. We've only got about 47 laps left in this race. These guys can make it on fuel. I have no idea what he's thinking. Maybe he's thinking he's driving a hybrid. But that car is going to run out of fuel here in a minute. But we could be wrong. He might be able to get 90 laps. He may prove us all wrong.
I'll tell you, if he gets 90 laps in here, I'm going to be intrigued. He's still going.
He's avoiding pit road like somebody told him that half his pit crews on pit road have COVID. He is not wanting to go on pit road at all. He is 86 laps on these tires. Michael Knight in that 68 machine is in 5th place, and he is riding on the oldest tires out there. But he is now a lap down. Matt Hornbuckle is in 4th place.
Here he comes.
There he comes on pit road. Maybe. No, he missed pit road.
Wow.
No, he missed pit road. So is he going to make it back around without causing a wreck?
The Caden Rush, yeah.
He put 87 laps on these tires. He won't make that mistake again. He's only going 120 miles an hour right now.
I thought he ran out of gas.
Let's see if he can do it this time. Come on, Mike. You can do it. That's pit road. Don't be intimidated. Oh, and we missed it again. He is on 88 lap tires. 88 lap tires. He better slow that thing down to 30 miles an hour turn, or he won't make it on pit road again. He is still under power. Here we go for our 3rd attempt at pitting. Come on, Michael Knight in the 68. You can do it. Slow it down. Slow it down. Come on.
It's too high.
That's doing it. You're doing it. Come on. Turn it to the left a little bit. There you go. Right between those lines. There we go. He made it.
He may have been speeding.
He made it to his pit.
He may have been speeding. He was at 40 when he came in.
Well, he might have been under power. He had no choice. It looks like Clifton Cockrell has taken his car to the garage in that number 16 machine.
Kenny Powell and Mike Eames are still sitting on the pit road there.
Well, knowing Kenny Powell, he's probably in there signing autographs. He's just like, forget this racing thing. I've about had as much fun as I can have with this. I'm going to go ahead and sign some autographs. Now, going back to the front of this field, of course, we have the 6th machine of James Mullins is in 1st. 2nd place is 11 seconds behind 1st place. And 3rd place is 16 seconds behind 1st place, Ryan Johnson. Behind that, in roughly about 12 and a half, more than that, 20-some seconds behind. Am I looking at this right? Is there 3 cars on the lead lap?
Yes, you are. That's why I was just wowing there. I mean, there's only 3 cars in the lead lap right now.
James Mullins is going to put this whole field a lap down before this race is over.
He's about to come up on Brian Johnson, and Brian's in 3rd right now.
Yeah, he's only about 6 seconds behind him. He's going to put this whole field a lap down. Have we had a race yet where there's only one person has finished not a lap down on the lead lap? One person, and that was the leader? Have we had that?
I think the last race I remember doing that at was the Rabbiati show, obviously. And I think there were 2 cars on the lead lap at the end of that race.
Well, we better hope Stephen West has got enough gas power to stay in front of James Mullins. Otherwise, this is going to be, we're going to have to change this next year from the Papa John's to the James Mullins 200.
And Al, I want to go back to 15. I mean, the 15 car right now. Caden Rush is 2 laps down right now.
And 6th place. Chris Johnson and Brian Johnson are both still on the lead lap. Matt Hornbuck was a lap down, and so is Chris Johnson. Brian Johnson is the only Johnson brother that's not a lap down. Stephen West in 2nd place is about 12 and a half seconds behind 1st place. And then, of course, Brian Johnson's in 3rd, and he is 4.5 seconds behind 2nd place. So we have got 3 cars on the lead lap. We have to remember, Matt Hornbuckle is on 36 lap tires. So to finish this race out, he is going to be on roughly 74 lap tires when this race finishes.
And I'm sure Stephen West right now is probably jumping up and down, and probably the point thing he's going to get from this. I don't think it's going to be enough to boost him up to 1st, but I think he's definitely going to get a lot of points out of this race, way more than Caden Rush will.
Yeah, if Stephen West is right now hoping and praying that Al chose James Mullins to win this race. That's what he's hoping. He's hoping I picked him to win this race so he wrecks out. And I got something for Stephen. I'd never pick James Mullins because I haven't seen James Mullins run, but if I could go back 170 laps, knowing what I know today, right now, I would pick James Mullins to win this race.
I want to see Stephen West win one.
I do too, and I'd like to see Brian Johnson. The top 10 drivers are all capable of winning a race. Okay, they have the driving skills. We've already seen Caden Rush show his skills. Matt Hornbuckle, you already seen what he's doing without a hood, so he obviously has a fast hot rod. Chris Johnson, he's very capable of winning a race. Brian Johnson, very capable of winning a race. Stephen West, shocked, has not won a race yet. Jay Felton has came close, but he stood in his own demise. He's gotten too much in a hurry and wrecked himself out, and sometimes he's caught in other people's mayhem.
Jay Felton has won one this year.
Yeah. Now Austin Bulkey, surprisingly, hasn't won one, and he's showed some capability. Cecil Keith, he's on all 4 wheels. Usually you see Cecil Keith flying through the air with the greatest of ease. But he's got the capability of also winning. Ron Holyfield, if he can just stay out of everybody else's mayhem and then be patient, he himself would also have the ability. Now we've got the leader, James Mullins, that's pulling into some lap cars, and it looks like the 17 almost took James Mullins out. And you notice I haven't said anything about James Cullibali. Because James Cullibali, he can be a little reckless. I don't know if his spotter is Ray Charles, but he has hit a whole lot in every race he's been in, and he's been involved in that. Here goes Gregory Heckes.
I guess the name Joe, somebody's in the wall right behind him. They saved it.
Andrew Melvin, he lets him by with ease, so he's coming past. Michael Knight will be the next car. He needs to put a lap down here. Slowly gaining on that 2nd place position here. Leader is James Mullins. As he comes past the 82.
Nazi Major.
Nazi Major. He puts Nazi Majors down 7 laps. I wonder what caused Clifton Cockrell to take his car to the garage. Clifton's pretty good at some of these tracks, but maybe he's just not a short track driver. He might have had some problems. He's been in out of this race he's 118 down, so he's had some early issues with this. He might have got involved in that earlier incident between Michael Eames.
I don't think it was the one with Michael Eames, because I think Michael Eames is 8 laps ahead of him. I think it may have been that. No, it couldn't have been the first wreck.
Well, we have got 22 laps left in this race, and this is a perfect time to take a commercial break. James Mullen catches a little bit of that rear quarter into the wall there and gets a little paint. Welcome back. We're still with our leader, James Mullins, who is roughly about 13 and a half seconds in front of second place Stephen West in that 74 machine, and third place is Brian Johnson, and he is roughly 11 and a half seconds behind second place. There is still only 2 cars on the lead lap. James Mullins and Stephen West. Somehow, some way, we missed the action that Brian Johnson got past. We have got 2 cars on the lead lap. All James Mullins has to do right now is put another 10 seconds on Stephen West, and he will finish this race. The only car on the lead lap. Does he have enough time? I'm going to say no. We've got 18 laps left, and this race will be in the books. And I am secretly, Bo, I'm secretly pulling for James Mullins to get up here and pass Stephen West. I really am. I want to see a race at Dover where only one driver finishes on the lead lap.
I mean, shoot, if you want to see that, we'll go to an A Open.
No, I mean, I don't want to be in the race. I just want to watch. I've not seen a race, in this league where there's only been one driver on the lead lap. Right now, we have Stephen West. Potentially, we could be talking to a third place finisher who didn't even finish on the lead lap. What do you think it would be historically like if we were to talk to a second place driver who didn't finish on the lead lap?
I think it's going to happen. I don't know if you've been watching it right now, but I've been watching the time, and he's up to 14 seconds right now.
Yeah, but he's got to put 8 more seconds. So he's not really, Stephen West is keeping him in that 14-second interval. He's not losing it 15, 16 seconds. He's keeping him in that 14-second interval. And he just has to do that for another 15 laps. That's really all, 14 laps.
But here's what we got to go into. Stephen West is surrounded by traffic right now. I don't know if you see that, but he's got 3 lapped cars in front of him. And James has nobody around him right now.
Yeah, when Stephen West has already shown us in this race earlier that he pressure thinking the same thing we're thinking. Oh Lord, here comes James Mullins, and so he may make a mistake. He's well. It looks like Cecil Keith. Boy, Cecil Keith. I thought he was going to come down and take Stephen West out, and that would have been something terrible. But now, not only does Stephen West has made it past some of those drivers, now James Mullins has to make it past those same drivers. And if those drivers make a mistake, guess who benefits? Stephen West. Stephen West could potentially be the one that ends this race, the only car on the lead lap. We cannot count him out because, again, like I said, James Mullins has got to get through some traffic in order to get to Stephen West.
I mean, he's got him up to 15 seconds right now.
Yeah, we're talking about 11 laps to go. The next time by will be 10 laps.
Right now, I'd be watching Austin Bolke in front of the 74 right now. Stephen West, it looks like he got a little loose there going into the exit of 4.
Here goes the leader. James Mullins is going to put Matt Hornbuckle down over. Matt No Hood Hornbuckle. He's going on the inside. Looks like Matt is going to let him go. I see tape or something, and Matt Hornbuckle's engine was flapping around there. I don't know if that's holding down a duct or what it's doing. Pretty easy to see that engine when you don't have a hood.
Stephen West's going to get around Austin Bolke pretty easily, and I don't think he's going to have any traffic for a hot minute, which is actually going to benefit Stephen West a lot right now.
Yeah, we have to still get around the Johnson brothers. That's what the leader has to do. He has to put the Johnson, Brian and Chris, that are in 3rd and 4th. He has to put them down a lap. But let's not take away the fact that James Mullins started with those guys and is lapped them, and because of green flag pit stops, he was able to catch up to them again to not only put them down a lap, but he could potentially put them down another lap. So first and second will finish on the lead lap, but third on back will be 2 laps down. And here he goes. He is right. He's catching up to, it's like Chris Johnson. As Chris Johnson is getting squirrely, and he's got to back it down. See if he cleanly makes. That's not Chris. That is a 68. Oh, that's it's Wrecking Ralph right there. It's Michael Knight here. We got around him safely.
Wrecking Ralph, there he is. They got 5 laps to go. I'm starting to agree with you, Al. I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
No, I think we're going to have 2 cars on the lead lap, but we still have an opportunity where we're going to see the 3rd and 4th car going down the lap. We potentially could see that.
I mean, even though he's not going to be a lap down, can we just talk about how he's already pushed him to be 16 seconds? I mean, that's an incredible feat right there in itself.
Yeah, pit stops worked to his advantage there. It certainly did. And he is coming up on one of the Johnson brothers right now.
I believe that's Chris in the number 2 car.
So all he's got to do, he has got 4 laps to put 2 more drivers a lap down. And they are roughly 8 seconds apart. Can he do it? It's these lap cars may help him a little bit. We have got 3 laps left here. He is certainly going to put Chris Johnson down. No, he may not, because Chris gets around this lap. This lap car holds up James Mullins, which he's not going to. James pulls right around him with ease. And James has no purpose. I mean, we're talking about the next lap by here is the final lap. I mean, once he goes across start-finish line, that's the white flag flies. And he doesn't need to get around Chris Johnson just to set a point here. He can easily, he's got 1 lap to go. He can let Chris finish on just 1 lap down. It looks like he may be doing that. Because he knows right now he can shut his engine off and coast and probably win this race.
Stephen West is still 16 seconds back as the race is going to be coming to the checkered flag right here.
We have got a winner. It's James Mullins in the 6th in extraordinary fashion. He finishes 16 seconds in front of 2nd place. 16 seconds. 3rd place is Brian Johnson, a lap down. 4th place is a 2 car of Chris Johnson. 5th will be Matt Hornbuckle. 6th will be our previous leader, Caden Rush, in the 15. 7th, Jay Felton. 8th, Austin Bulkey. 9th is Ron Hollyfield. 10th will be Cecil Keith, and that rounds out the top 10.
Right behind him, we're going to have David Gervais in the 5, the 68 of Mike Knight behind him. Behind him, we got the 37 of Andrew Melvin. We got the 87 of Gregory Heck just behind him. 15 of Craig Johnson. I mean, the 83 of Craig Johnson in 15th, sorry. The 511 and 16th of Marty Walter. 82 of Manazzi Major behind him. 17 of James Caldwell in 18th. 43 of Paul Olson. And he's going to be in 19th. The 20th is going to be Kenny Powell. Or 24 in 20th is going to be Kenny Powell. The 3 and Mike Eames behind him. And Clifton Cockrell in the 16. 142 laps down today.
This is just simply amazing. Simply amazing. Absolutely fantastic. And that concludes today's race. We're going to try to get with the top 3 drivers. See, if we can talk to them here. We're going to at least talk to one more driver lap, and another driver we're going to talk to is finish this race a lap down in 3rd place.
Brian Johnson, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Brian Johnson, how are you doing, big guy? That was a fantastic race. I haven't watched a race like this in a where I'm talking to 3rd place, who is a lap down in 3rd place.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. James had a really fast car.
I don't think James. I mean, James was driving like he was heading his way to Walmart, and there was a Black Friday sale going on. I don't know what the world would think of that.
Yeah, he was in a lead with his own. You know, they're the first half. Felt like I had some Caden. I felt like we were pretty even. Got to his bumper, and then I looked in my mirror, and there was James. He was coming.
Yeah, he started 22nd, and he went to the lead and just left. And the pit stops didn't help anybody. That kind of put it out a little bit further. It was a really good race, though. I mean, I didn't want to cheer for you because, history has shown anybody I cheered for had wrecked out and not won. So I was secretly hoping that you were going to be victorious on this, and you did. You and Chris both had finished in the top 5 ahead of Caden Rush.
Yeah, Al, that's definitely a win. Anytime you can finish in front of Caden, that's a win in my book. But felt like I had a long run car. There the second half of the race, I just got wrecked and loose. I mean, this thing was all over the place. Track was changing. Made bad adjustments. I was just too loose to make up any ground.
Yeah, I'd seen how that track was really having a problem there because it looked like Steve was having a problem there in the beginning. Like the front end was catching too much draft. Did the overcloud? I mean, it looks like it was a little cloudy out there. Did that have any effect on the track condition?
It did actually. It actually helped my car out. When the sun came out, I was just super loose. The first race, I was tight, loosened it up, and that second run, I was way off. When that sun came out, I was wrecking loose coming off the corner, mid corner off. But once the clouds came in, she was rolling.
Yeah, I've seen that cloud cover kind of helped a little bit of everybody, and I don't think it hurt many folks. The hot track obviously makes it a little bit slicker, but a tremendous finish tonight. Third place is nothing to sneeze about. That was a great win, great third place. It's a win for you, as you finished better than your brother did tonight.
Yeah, definitely a good win, and good luck next week at Daytona, bud.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brian. Have a good one. Stephen West, do we have a second place Stephen West?
We have him.
Steve, the only car that finished behind the leader on the lead lap. How does that feel?
Honestly, this one hurts a little bit. We had something for everybody. I mean, I was quick right off the bat there, and I got in a little high. Good job to everybody for missing me on that one, but this one hurts. I've been running top 5, all season long, and now second again.
Yeah, Stephen West, the only driver in our league to be in the top 5 without a win.
I'm actually, I'm okay with that. I'm actually happy. I'm the only one in the league that's run every lap. That was kind of my goal coming in.
That is an accomplishment. Yeah, that is an accomplishment. And I think tonight, once the dust settles, your top 5s are going to add up to put you really close, if not in the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do the Ryan Newman thing, I guess, right? See how far I can go without winning, because I guess that's out the window, it seems.
I mean, you don't have to win every race. You just have to win the championship.
That's the goal, right?
That is absolutely the goal. That is very true. And you have been accomplishing it pretty well. That's a great finish. Like I said, second place. We did see you getting a little squirrely. How was the weather? Did that have anything to do with the temperament of your car?
Yeah, really what happened there on lap, what was it, 10 or something like that?
Like 11, I think you got a little squirrely.
Yeah, I got a little too high up on the track, and when I turned the wheel even just a little bit, it just spun me out. No, I mean, I got a couple of guys building some great setups for me. Everybody on Phoenix SimSport, they're doing a great job. There's only a few of us, and they're elevating my game for sure.
Well, you could tell them thank you very much because, like I said, you are the only driver out of 22 drivers tonight that finished on the lead lap with the winner.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
No problem, Steve. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Good luck at Daytona next week.
Oh, we're going to need it, right? Thank you.
Let's see if we can find our race winner, James Mullins. Let's pull him in with us here.
I think we're working on getting him in here. I think our producers down there talking to him.
James Mullins, you got a copy?
Yeah, I sure do, man.
Mr. James Mullins, first of all, I didn't know if anybody told you, but there was only 2 cars that finished this race on the lead lap. And you happen to be one of them.
That's kind of keep an eye on it, but
What was the secret here? You can tell us. We won't tell anybody. There's nobody else watching. Okay, you can tell me exactly what's the secret of winning at this track with a miraculous 16-second lead in front of second place.
gotta maintain your drive in early, not burn your tires up, and have good grip off because you can really burn your tires up. It's a real key. Entry is real key for your long run speed.
But earlier on, we watched this, and first of all, it's the first time we've seen you run with the league, so I didn't know what to expect. And I was watching the field, and I seen you kind of hanging out in the back. Next thing you know, you're in the lead. I was like, well, where in the hell did this guy? It was 5 laps from 22nd to first. How in the hell did somebody do that?
Well, I was trying to take my time, and I know it's late in the season, and I really didn't want to race anybody extremely hard. And so I kind of hung out a little bit, kind of got caught up in a little bit of a mess and hit the wall a little bit. So when we come back out, I was just a little bit more aggressive, but I still tried to give everybody plenty of room.
Well, it looks like you gave him plenty of room, including the second place Stephen West with that finish at 16 seconds. I mean, you give him plenty of room.
Well, I mean, I put a lot of time in on the setup. I'm on a really good team anyways. I'm one of the builders for the A car on the Team Nexus, so we spend a lot of time. Well, I've spent a lot of time this week on the setup. So we should be pretty fair.
Well, we are sure. I'm glad that I am sure. I'm glad that you came in here. You gave us a lot to talk about tonight. If you watch the stream over, you'll see that your name was probably said maybe 8,000 times during this race. It was pretty exciting. We were hoping and praying. We had about 20 more laps, so we can see if you could finish this race the only car on the lead lap. Stephen West was not going to let you not let you have it because he was trying to stay consistent 15, 16 seconds so you wouldn't put him a lap down. But nonetheless, the performance was phenomenal.
Well, I mean, Stephen, he don't need to hang his head after this race because this setup won top split NIS last night. And to be honest with you, he has great pace. They just need to work on just a little bit more. I mean, he was running just the same time as I was. He just wasn't as consistent, I guess. But, I mean, he should be really proud of what he had. So,
yeah, he most definitely should be because he's the only one besides you that finished on the lead lap. And we have our champion here, Caden Rush, he gave you a little battle. But on that last restart, it was like everybody else stayed still and you just took off like you were racing a drag racer, you know. It was amazing to watch. You took right off, and right away you gained a second gap between them, and just took off from there. So we do appreciate you coming on in and racing with us, and putting a little bit of competition on these boys. We have a bunch of great drivers, and I'm glad to see that I predicted 5 cautions. We only had 3, so it was some good racing, and I appreciate you coming in and winning this thing.
Let me tell you, we got shirts in the back being made right now with your name on it.
Appreciate you guys having me. I appreciate Kenny letting me join. You guys just let me race. You guys did an amazing job on the broadcast. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you race with us at Daytona there, James, just do me a favor. Use a joystick next time, like a hand controller or something. You know, give us a little bit of an opportunity here, will you?
Plate tracks it'll be anybody's race. So I'm just excited to be in the league. So I'm just glad to find some races as clean as this. That's what I like.
Yeah, this was absolutely great. Everybody showed some courtesy tonight for a newcomer, and the newcomer laid it on him. James Winter here, 6. He laid it down strong on these boys. And that concludes our race tonight. And James Mullins, again, congratulations and welcome aboard, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, fellas.
Both words as we wrap this up.
I need to go check on those T-shirts, make sure they aren't burning yet. But, yeah, it's been a fun one here today. I want to appreciate you, Al, being in here in the booth with me and all the producers in here today. And definitely one crazy one to only have 2 drivers finish on the lead lap.
Yes, it definitely is. And if everything goes my way, Bo, next week I will be behind the wheel at Daytona race hopefully able to come and chit chat with you guys in the top 3. I know it's going to be a challenge. We've got some phenomenal drivers out here that I can expect are going to do some heavy racing next week, and I look forward to doing it.